Well, Esso is teaming up with the Canadian Mental Health Association for its annual Fuel What Matters campaign, pledging to support mental health initiatives. And this year, they're teaming up with Hayley Wickenheiser, hockey legend. And Hayley Wickenheiser joins us now live on CB24 Breakfast. Good morning, Hayley. Thanks for being here. You know, this pandemic has really had an impact on people's mental health. It really seems the Fuel What Matters campaign this year is as important as it's ever been.
Yeah, well, good morning, Nick, for sure. I think I'm really proud to do this with Esso. I mean, we know that the pandemic's been hard on everyone, but being a physician and meeting people on the daily, it seems mental health has really come to the forefront. This year's plan with the Fuel What Matters campaign is really around belonging and inclusion. We see a lot of people that have been socially isolated, alone, not able to see their family, have regular social interactions. And so this year with Esso, for every share that my video that's going to get posted later this morning, as well as the videos on the Esso and Imperial Oil Facebook and Twitter, for every share they'll donate $10 to the Canadian Mental Health Association, up to $200,000 to help 9 programs across the country. So it's a really great program, and it's going to help a lot of people.
So when you talk about social, isolation and trying to get from isolation to inclusion, what are some of the sort of methods beyond these programs that you understand can sort of help bring people in? Because that's the thing, right? communities help people feel stronger. Isolation is almost never a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think you nailed it. It's bringing people together. I think a lot of, as human beings, we're social creatures. We need to be around other people, creating programs where people can find the tools. Maybe they have a lot of anxiety. I see people that have a lot of anxiety to go back into public again with, staying inside or away from people for almost a year and a half. Just the anxiety and depression that comes from even working from home every day and not being surrounded by your regular coworkers. A lot of these programs will provide counseling, access to physicians, which has been really hard for people, and in-person programming as well, coast to coast, so that people can reconnect, which I think we all kind of are trying to do right now. Yeah,
we're all kind of sort of figure it out at the same time, right? And part of that, we talk a lot about the resiliency that's been built up, whether it's among kids or amongst any of us, right? As we've adjusted to these 20 months or so of the pandemic. And in your book, Hayley, you've talked a lot about the resiliency and the lessons, you've learned. How do you define resiliency and how do you find it? Because that can be something, it can be tough for people to sort of face challenges and try to overcome them, time and time again.
Yeah, well, I think resiliency for sure is something that you develop over time. It's about doing hard things often, falling down and getting back up and building that inner confidence and inner resolve to believe in yourself that you can get through, almost anything. I like to call it, failing forward or falling forward, really, because we all make mistakes. We all are sort of learning and how to operate in this new world. But the resiliency comes with just having the courage to take the first step. And for a lot of people, that's all that they have to do when it comes to their mental health. And then, it's amazing the support that wraps around people when they speak up and say, hey, I need some support.
I'm not sure if you can see the video right now, but we're watching you shaking hands with Lanny McDonald, talking Hockey Hall of Fame. We've got the ceremony ahead of the game tonight. I wonder what that means to hockey players, that induction to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and your thoughts on this. We're coming up to the next class this weekend.
Well, I'm really happy for the inductees this year that it could be in person. I mean, I know Jerome well. Being in Calgary for so many years, Kevin Lowe, obviously Kim St. Pierre, and I played together for, I think, over 10 years on the national team. So it's a great class going in, and it's always a very special weekend. I told Kevin Lowe the other day, it's something that you and your family are never going to forget. The Hall does an amazing job of really making everyone and everyone that attends feel like this is something special. So it'll be exciting to watch the ceremonies.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people get really excited this time of year. I just want to circle back to mental health one more time here, Hayley. And this is a pretty serious situation. But the Kyle Beach situation in the NHL right now. He came forward. He's talked about the issues he's dealt with, the mental health he's dealt with. When you see things like this happening at the top echelon of hockey, it's horrific no matter where it happens. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on that situation and how you see this, playing out at this point.
Well, I mean, for sure, hockey's had to take a big gulp here in the last weeks, and hockey at the highest level. But I think out of this situation, I'm always sort of an optimist, and I know that this situation is going to help a lot of players. I know that it already has. It's going to help a lot of players have the bravery to come out forward and say, "I'm struggling," or "This happened to me," whether they're male or female. I think it also puts all of us as parents and community leaders on guard and on watch to say, "Hey, what's happening in minor hockey across this country, and let's make sure our kids are protected." And so certainly the NHL has a long way to go. Hockey has a long way to go with the culture. I personally see a lot of good people inside hockey as well. And, I think this, out of such a horrible situation, I think a lot of good is going to come from this. And Kyle was very brave to do what he did, and he's going to change a lot of lives.
Yeah, and campaigns like the one you're sort of fronting here are going to help with mental health as well. Hayley Wickenheiser, Dr. Hayley Wickenheiser, thanks for being here on CB24 Breakfast again. Appreciate this.
All right. Thanks for having me, Nick.
All right. Take care.